New horizon and a day. It all came true. Keller Williams, you make dreams come true. Home sweet home, oh home sweet home, home sweet home.
Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home with Russ, McClellan and Friends. Here's your host, Russ McClellan.
Hey, good Saturday morning. This is Russ McClellan with Home Sweet Home Radio. How's everybody doing in the land of COVID? Wow. Seems like every month I say the same thing. Are we ever going to get through the land of COVID? Well, that's a good question. And boy, oh boy, are we having fun with politics, aren't we? I'm loving that stuff. You know, the good news is, it seems like to me throughout history, the world keeps spinning on its axis, regardless of what we might feel or think in the moment, regardless of how negative social media seems to be attacking us on a daily basis, depending on what you say, even if your intent is not to offend. It's almost the ultimate outcome of every conversation, and everybody seems to have a right, and very few people have a responsibility. It's an interesting time. The good news is this. Keller Williams is growing fast. Keller Williams is selling lots of homes. We're on pace to do record numbers. We had our biggest month since we opened. You know, we're an old company. We're a couple years old. Actually going on our third year, although I've had about 32 years in real estate in Chelan. I'm having a blast as the operating partner, and I am so thrilled to have so many amazing professional business people joining our firm each and every month. I think we're increasing our energy at an increasing rate, which I didn't think was even possible not that long ago. But every single person we bring on board adds a completely different set of tools and value and experience. And like I've always said, we're always smarter as a collective than we are as an individual. And today, this show is Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends, and I have an amazing friend with me, Kay Gossage. How you doing?
Hey, Russ, how are you?
I'm good, man. Excited that you're joined our firm, and I thought maybe today we could just, we've got to know each other a little bit over the last month or so, and I just thought maybe we could introduce you to our listeners that maybe don't know you or what your story is and some of the cool things that you do outside of real estate. So maybe we can start by, you're not a native of Washington State. You're kind of a transplant.
I'm a transplant from Chicago.
Chicago.
Best city ever.
So it's fair to say that you're LeBron James is the best basketball player that ever lived.
Oh, no, I grew up Michael Jordan and all that. Sorry. Wrong year, wrong team.
I'm messing with you, seeing if you were a real Chicago person.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Bears, Cubs, Bulls, yep.
Yeah, you know, one of my favorite things, I think we might have talked about this, I always wanted on my bucket list was go to Chicago and listen to Harry Carey sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Oh, yeah, I can't help you there anymore.
I
Take you
know.
to the ballpark, but
yeah,
sorry.
Wrigley Field, man. That was. I remember just playing him on the internet. Like, God, I want to go there. I got to experience that. I did get a chance to go there, and Chicago is a very interesting city. It's like, I mean, every city in America right now is interesting, but there are parts of Chicago that were just really cool. I was only there once. But, you know, Bubba Gump Shrimp and the Pier and the Redhead Piano Bar.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened? What makes you go 3,000 miles west?
Okay, so I grew up there, lived there, had 2 of my 3 kids there, and my husband's job brought us out this way. And long story short, I transplanted here to East Wenatchee area, and now I'm out in Ephrata.
Right, and so what's cool about Keller Williams, and what we're really excited is we're going to make a splash into Ephrata Moses Lake.
Yes, we are.
And we literally have hundreds of leads that we're doing some pretty amazing work in what I call the interdependent model, where people can take advantage of this lead generation internal program if they choose to. And one of the things that I see is that as affordability becomes more and more difficult, growth becomes harder and harder with regulation. Growth becomes harder and harder with available lands and infrastructure and topography and so many limiting supply constraints, I guess, that Moses Lake is rapidly growing with a ton of opportunity. And I'm excited because I think with our partnership with you and being in business with you now, we can do some good things.
I do too. Grant County, Moses Lake has some extremely amazing opportunity, a lot of growth, a lot of potential. There's some areas out there that I think can easily be tapped into for housing, for development. I think it's a great way to go. Yeah. Very cost effective over some of the other areas out here. You know, it's
right.
Great little area.
Yeah, and as we kind of think about how expensive things have gotten. I mean, a lot of the problems. There's many to talk about, but with the lack of subcontractors being one of them, the lack of available lands, all those things I mentioned, the cost per square foot is really jacked up. And then here we have this. I'll use this term in the most polite sort of way, invasion of people that know that we live in a cool spot, and now they can work from home and make the same kind of money they used to have to live in Seattle to make. Well, that creates challenges, right? And one of the things that I think is important to remember is that you can't always do what you've always done and get what you've always gotten, because the world never slows down. It never stops
changes all the time. Yes.
And so as prices go up, maybe Moses Lake, maybe areas like Waterville, maybe areas like Mansfield, maybe areas like Brewster, Bridgeport, Pateros are going to expand, if nothing else, just because of the fact that it's the closer you get to Seattle, the more money is available. Mm-hmm. And the economic base is different. So what do we do? And is that fair? I don't know. Probably not. Is it going to create challenges for people? Are you going to have to, people are going to have to move? And the old saying, drive till you qualify? Maybe. I know you look around, Aspen, Colorado was cheaper once. Jackson Hole, Wyoming was cheaper once. Whistler was cheaper once. And. I mean, Lake Chelan, Leavenworth are growing at a record pace. And so I think our expectations to maybe not have to drive 30 minutes might have to change. But,
I agree.
But you get a lot more for your, but the good news is you get a lot more of a home.
You do, or you get the same home, but at a way, way better price. You get a lot of the stuff still around you. You have your hospitals, you have your shopping, you have everything you need. You may have to drive further from work, but a lot of people are working from home, as you said, and that's what I'm finding. A lot of clients coming, from everywhere.
Right.
Even other parts of the country moving out here and saying, hey, I can work from home now. I just need a space for home office, X amount of bedrooms or whatever, and off we're going. And it's kind of very exciting.
Yeah, and what's cool about what you do, you have some very specific land use expertise. You've done some different projects from the beginning to the end as far as development. You've learned a lot about that area. So you're a very solid resource for people, I think. And I'm excited. I'm thrilled for you because we're going to lean in and do what we can in management. And, the thing about Keller Williams is you're learning, and I want to get into why Keller Williams for you. But before I do that, like how long, it's been about 5-6 years you've been in real estate, right?
Yeah, I'm about five, a little over 5 now, not quite full 5.5. Very excited, continuing learning all the time. Education, I feel, is a good way to learn and experience things, and you can grab anything you need from everything I've learned and put it in to each client who is different. Each opportunity is different. Each transaction is different. And I feel the best way to go is more education to help me, help my clients, better transaction, smoother.
Yeah, when you get into this concept, what I call a learning-based mentality, it never ends. I mean, the definition of mastery to me, and I might get into it a little bit later, but the definition of mastery to me really just means you realize you don't really know that much.
No, always got to learn. So there's always something new to learn.
And speaking of that, you're also fascinating because you're a quite accomplished musician.
Yes, I have played viola since I was, we'll say 9. We won't do that math, but since I was 9. And recently I've played, since I've been out here with the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra. I'm principal last year and this year, principal viola. So yeah, I do enjoy it. It's my way to relax, some people work out, some people cook, some people actually run or something horrible like that. I play music, and it helps me relax, and I enjoy it, and I do get to give that back to other people also.
Well, I am all envious of that, because I am not a guy that typically says the word can't. I don't really like that word. I kind of say things like I am currently challenged with, or I'm currently struggling with. But if there is an area that is the opposite of instinctual, it is that side of my brain that I could play the heck out of Mary Had a Little Lamb in 6th grade on the saxophone.
There we go.
I was first chair for like a month.
There we go. Perfect.
In the 6th grade.
Good for you. Awesome. It's all you need. You're musical. You can do it.
It's not on my LinkedIn page, but I've been thinking about putting
Put it on there.
Right.
Your skills.
So I admire, and I'm just blown away by musicians and artists and painters. And it's just an amazing, I can barely draw a stick man. So
I'm there with you.
For me.
I can draw a wicked stick person.
So how do you, that's the thing about what's cool. We're now well over 60, pushing 70 real estate brokers, and the largest and the fastest growing real estate company in all of North Central Washington at Keller Williams. And that has been, for me personally, awesome, because every single person, just like yourself, brings something incredibly unique and awesome to the collective. And I just think that it's fun to learn about things. Like, you have a concert coming up, you're doing some fun things, and to me, that's one of the things that people forget, that real estate brokers are just people.
Yep, we have our regular everyday lives, family, friends, hobbies, but always have our clients.
Yeah, we do, and that's important to remember, because we understand and appreciate our fiduciary responsibility with our clients, but and in large part because we've probably been there and we understand what it feels like to be disappointed. When we come back, I'll tell you what, I want to dive a little deeper into Kay Gossage and find out at that point how people can get a hold of you and hire you, and what your goals are. So we'll be back in just a few minutes with Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and friends.
Home sweet home. Home sweet home. Oh, home sweet home.
Hi, this is Russ McClellan, operating partner and designated broker of Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. Hey, thanks for tuning into our show each and every Saturday morning. I wanted to share the fact that we've been in business now about a year and a half. We have over 50 real estate agents, and there's a reason for that. Mainly, it's relationship and culture. Sometimes people definitely look at the money and the commissions and the splits, but at the end of the day, it's about relationships, trust, that familial connection that you have at Keller Williams. That's what we strive to do, and that's how we look at our clients. We now have offices in Brewster, Chelan, and Wenatchee. We have agents in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee and Cashmere and Leavenworth, Chelan, Brewster. Really having a good time. So if you're interested in learning about why is Keller Williams Realty growing as fast as we've grown and have as many agents that are focused on their clients as we do, give us a call at 509-888-0038 or just stop by and see us at 1111 North Mission Street right here in Wenatchee.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan. I appreciate you listening. We're in our third year. I think we're like 70 shows. And if somebody would have told me 2.5 years ago that we'd have a radio show that lasted this long, I would have bet a lot of money that wouldn't be the case. But it's been fun. We get a lot of people listening, and I hope you enjoy it. I know that I'm not consistent, and I think that's part of the pluses, although I do get in trouble for not talking about real estate once in a while. But I just want to say thank you, really. In a time where there's a lot of turbulence, perhaps being positive and staying humble and appreciating each other is a good thing. And today I'm appreciating Kay Gossage for joining our firm at Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. Hi, Kay.
Hi, Russ.
We were talking about viola. Viola. Now, for those of us like me that could, had a sax in my hands.
Do you need me to tell you what a viola is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
A viola is like a violin, which everyone knows what that is. A viola is larger and a lower pitch, kind of like an alto voice in a choir. So where first violin, second violin, then viola. So it's still played under the chin, just like a violin.
So is it easy to jump to a violin and play that? Or is it different?
It's a little bit different. We have our own clef, and the violin's way smaller. So it's just, your fingers are just, squished, and I'm not used to that.
Well,
I have played violin, not well, but I have done it.
I always wanted to play, Devil Goes Down to Georgia.
Oh, yeah, there we go. We'll teach that.
I am so envious of musicians. I really am. I love going to the symphonies. I love orchestras in general. I think it's just magical. And you know what? I was thinking about, as we were going to get together today, I was thinking about how orchestras are a lot like real estate, where you have a conductor, maybe that's a DB that tries to kind of move their hands around.
Tells you what to do.
Like,
we do our own thing anyway.
Well, it's a real funny analogy because it's like I move my hands around as a DB, but I really don't control anything.
We just look at you like, what?
Yeah, this guy's weird, man. So, but then you have all these people that are working together in a group setting, at least with Keller Williams, because we're really all about helping each other and what I call an abundant mindset, which in real estate, at least historically in real estate, a lot of people have this scarcity mindset. And to me, that means that for me to win, you have to lose. And I just don't believe that. I believe that I want everybody to win. And I think the culture in our company is that, where we are competitive with each other. And we have a lot of brokers pushing 70 and growing rapidly with massive goals. And the more we grow, the more we profit share at about 49%. And we're excited that we're at a spot now where we really just had our biggest month last month ever. And so with you coming on board and expanding, not just because you're in Ephrata is where you live.
I am in Ephrata,
Right.
yes.
What's cool about that is you can get to Wenatchee in about an hour.
I can get to Wenatchee in an hour. I can get to Chelan in an hour. I can be in Moses in 20 minutes.
Right.
Othello, that area, in about an hour.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And, we tend to have thought of, I'm a lake kid, right? I grew up in Lake Chelan, so it was kind of like, Moses, what? Like that was kind of, I'm an egotistical little
there's a lake
braggadocious Chelan guy.
Oh, come on. Lake Michigan, I win.
Yeah, and I used to joke around and say, hey, some people are worldly. I'm countyly. I know where
There you
Iniat's
go.
at.
I know my county.
Yeah, I know
really well.
Iniat. I know where that's at growing up. Just never really left that much as a kid. But, as we expand, and we talked about it in the last segment, that people are moving around. And when we're seeing an influx of people, these are the areas that are exciting because the lifestyle that we take for granted, when we look at 300 days of sunshine and within an hour drive, like you're centrally located, you can go to Canada, you can go to Spokane, you can go to Seattle.
Oh, yeah, you can be anywhere. It's
Anywhere.
awesome. Yeah.
Boom. I just think that there's some serious opportunity. We're going to be investing in that area as a company. We're going to be helping you really become a rock star there. Not that you already aren't, but you're.
I can always grow and be better.
Yeah, we all
It's
can,
part
right?
of learning.
We all can.
Part of life.
32 years later, I just realized I don't know that much, and I just do the best I can.
We'll help each other learn.
Yeah, right. So, what are you excited so far? And we're fairly new together as partners in real estate, and because we profit share, all of us are partners with each other. What are you excited so far about Keller Williams?
So far, I'm excited for new growth, new opportunities in Moses, as well as the Chelan Douglas area. I do cover that as well. I'm excited about the future, what's coming my way, maybe more and more in Moses, as you and I have talked about a little bit. And I'm excited, and I do like the fact that there is a limit of what is taken from me. There's a limit on my commission. There's a limit on franchise fees, word I cannot say. Mm-hmm. And those, after a certain point, that money comes back to me, at least for the remainder of that year. And that's a great way for me to help myself and help the company and help my clients. And it gives a little bit extra back to me the harder I work.
Yeah, that's a great point. One of the things about our company, it's called a cap. So we will take a percentage like any brokerage will, and that percentage in most cases is 70-30 in most cases. And then when that 30% hits $17,000 a year, that's all we take as far as our commission split as a company to pay our bills. And the good news is that's not where it ends, because we do profit share above that predictable expense line monthly. And as a transparent company, it's very open, like an open book type company. So for us, what was 25 grand not that long ago. I don't know if you knew that, but it's funny. We've had some, I call them the myths of Keller Williams. Like one of them was that I have to pay 25 grand to join like a country club. And I'm like, maybe that's a good rule. Maybe I should do that because
No, we
I
don't
make
like
a
that
lot more
rule.
money.
No, I say no.
Oh, no.
I won't allow it.
I got pushback on that one, but no, that's not a myth. You don't pay anything like that. And then when the pandemic hit, one of the things that I really thought about was that it's easy to lead in times that are good, right? Like if you're a general, to use an analogy of military, if you're a general, it's easy to lead in peacetime. I can only imagine in 1940 in Hawaii before Pearl Harbor, the generals are walking around saluting the flag and hanging out on the beach.
Having a Mai Tai.
Yeah, doing some good, not a bad gig, right?
Surfing,
And then all of a sudden Pearl Harbor happened. And a couple years later, you're finding yourself on the beaches of Normandy. And being a general in that time is challenging. And so maybe that's an extreme example, but I kind of do that. Take things to the extreme to make a point. And my point is that right now in the pandemic, one of the things that I thought about was, look, I don't make decisions by myself. We have a team of people, which is exciting because, again, we're smarter together. So we meet every morning on the phone, 4 or 5 of us every morning. And I said, look, it's 25 grand. Let's make it 17 grand. Let's make it $8,000 less per person. So let's give everybody that is working that opportunity to have an $8,000 raise. And I think it's important because it's kind of like if you had to pay a certain amount of school tax and you only had 10 people to pay the amount of money that you needed in your tax, like real estate tax, a portion of it goes to the school. If you only had 10 people paying, it would be pretty high rate, right? Because you have to make X dollars to keep the school around or the police, et cetera. Well, if you have 1,000 people, then that rate can be much, much lower, right? And so we broaden the base and lower the rate. So as we grow, I am excited about giving even more back.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I
right?
like that. I think we all like that.
And then the education, training, tools, systems, all that stuff is powerful. And I hope what I love about you is your enthusiasm. So what is it about you that makes you so enthusiastic? What drives you? Like you're always smiling and happy.
I have no idea how to answer that question.
You just are naturally like happy.
I don't know. I've kind of, it's at that point in my life. I'm however old I am. Kids, everything that's gone on, bad, good, bad, the warts and all, ugly. I just let it all go. Keep the good, got really bad. I love my children. I'm always there for my family, my friends, my clients when they need me. They get a hold of me. I told them 3 a.m. You can text me. I'm not answering you till a decent hour in the morning, but you can still get in touch with me. I just kind of try to let go of the things that are going to hold me back because I've learned why keep them. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. Just let it go. Move forward because the past doesn't matter anymore. It's been done. You can't change it. Accept it. Yeah. So, and every day you wake up, it's like, oh, thank God, and you just crack a little bit.
Right. Well, you're living in gratitude.
And crack, and just start your whole new day and kind of try to just, I don't know, get through it sometimes. And other days you're like, oh, yeah, that was a great day. And other days you're like, oh, God, tomorrow's going to be new.
Yeah. And what's fun about that is you're passionate with a purpose, right? And you have some pretty good goals. You want to grow.
I do have big goals. I have big dreams, big goals. I don't necessarily think small. Some people see that as good. Others think it is a little scattered, but big goals are good. It gives you something big to achieve with little steps along the way.
Yeah, big vision, little steps.
Yep.
Exactly.
Huge vision.
Yeah, and why not? The game of life, last time I checked, is, we're not getting out of this one alive.
No, and it's worth, if you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Kay, your number, if people want to get a hold of you, which I know they do, all over the place. So get your pen out because here it comes. Kay Gossage, Keller Williams real estate person extraordinaire. Her number's 509-668-8338. Just joined our firm and we're excited. We're excited to grow together. We're excited to have fun together. Kay, I appreciate it. You can also email Kay at Kay Gossage, Gossage @gmail.com. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about some interesting things about, I don't know, I think I might dive into some things about ego. Yeah, so we'll be back in just a few minutes with Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan.
Home sweet home. Home sweet home. Oh, home sweet home.
Hi, this is Russ McClellan, operating partner with Keller Williams Realty and the host of this show, Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. I want to take just a minute to say a heartfelt thank you for your support and tuning into our show each and every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I'm very proud to share that we are celebrating our 50th radio show this month and launching into our third consecutive year of this show, all thanks to you. I also want to thank all the amazing people that were kind enough to come on the show and share their stories, thoughts, fears, wisdom, and experiences with all of us over the last 2 years, including my co-hosts and friends, Sharon Crockett and Michael Maher with PrimeLending. I personally have made some amazing friendships as a direct result of this radio show, and I couldn't be more grateful. As always, throw the phone in the drawer, be present, spend some time with your friends and loved ones, and make it a fantastic Saturday. Thanks again for your amazing support of Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Hi, this is Russ McClellan, operating partner and designated broker of Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. Hey, thanks for tuning into our show each and every Saturday morning. I wanted to share the fact that we've been in business now about a year and a half. We have over 50 real estate agents, and there's a reason for that. Mainly, it's relationship and culture. You know, sometimes people definitely look at the money and the commissions and the splits, but at the end of the day, it's about relationships, trust, that familial connection that you have at Keller Williams. That's what we strive to do, and that's how we look at our clients. We now have offices in Brewster, Chelan, and Wenatchee. We have agents in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee and Cashmere and Leavenworth, Chelan, Brewster. Really having a good time. So if you're interested in learning about why is Keller Williams Realty growing as fast as we've grown and have as many agents that are focused on their clients as we do, give us a call at 509-888-0038 or just stop by and see us at 1111 North Mission Street right here in Wenatchee.
You're tuned to Russ McClellan and Friends on the real estate show Home Sweet Home. Let's get back to Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. I have Kay Gossage. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. We had a couple good segments, kind of introducing you to the world, and welcome to Keller Williams Realty. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you back.
I love the fact that I have so many new friends. You know, for 30 years I was in Chelan, essentially, and then in the last 2+ years we opened this all over North Central Washington, and now we have people from Canada to Leavenworth to Freda and everything in between. And it's just been fun to get to know everybody and work with people that you respect and admire. You know, one of the things I thought we'd talk about, you know, or I just kind of want to talk about, I was really thinking about so much negativity and so much uncertainty right now with the land of COVID really affecting people negatively, and I'm seeing stress manifested differently inside of our office, outside of our office. Obviously, any media outlet you turn on right now, it's pretty pathetic. The agendas of everyone is just so angry, and you know, I'd like to remind everybody that it's okay to be nice to each other, right? And I thought about my own ego, and I've gone through a lot of phases in that. I mean, at one point, I know a lot of people that I grew up with, you know, that would politely say I had youthful exuberance. Let's put it that way. But, you know, ego is one of those things, it's a dangerous thing, right? And I was reading this, and I want to share it today, at least part of it. And it was an article written by a guy named Ryan Holiday. And the title was 25 Ways to Kill the Toxic Ego That Will Ruin Your Life. And it was just fascinating to me. So I'm going to go through it if you don't mind. Maybe take something away, maybe disagree, maybe agree, but I found it fascinating to really take a deep breath, step back, and think about our own ego and what that means. So number one is adopt, and we just talked about this, Kay. Number one is adopt the beginner's mindset. And if you think about it, it's impossible to learn if you think you know everything.
Oh, I don't even know how much things I don't know.
Right. And if you remind yourself on a consistent basis of what you don't know, then perhaps what other people are saying will not be an attack, right, on you.
Correct.
It's just about learning based. Number two was focus on effort, not the outcome. One of my favorite coaches of all time. If you're a basketball fan, we talked a little bit. You're definitely a Michael Jordan fan. You're from Chicago.
Chicago Bulls.
Right, and so was I. But John Wooden's advice, he was a famous UCLA coach of all time. Success is peace of mind, he says, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do your best, to become the best that you are capable of becoming. Doing your best is what matters. Focus on that. The external rewards are just extra. So the satisfaction of just knowing that, regardless of where I end up, I gave it everything I had, right? So anyway, I thought that was unique. Number 3 was choose purpose over passion. And I think this makes sense because passion, we've done a lot of things that passion, I know I have, when I've sparked or when I get, if I lose my temper, if I do these things that humans do, passion runs hot and burns out, while people with purpose seem to be more consistent. And one definition of purpose is passion combined with reason. And I thought that was pretty good. And they used an example. Have you ever seen, Kay, there was that show on Netflix called Into the Wild?
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's pretty sad outcome. A guy named Christopher McCandless decided he was just going to trek around the world. And he ended up trekking right up into Alaska and ended up passing away. So because he starved to death and got sick, he ate some stuff that wasn't the right thing. And long story short, that was a passionate guy. But passion without purpose kind of had a negative outcome.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right?
Oh,
So-
God, yeah. Something I would not be doing.
And again, what I'm talking about is this article from Ryan Holiday about 25 ways to kill the toxic ego. Number 4 was shun the comfort of talking and face the work. Oh, boy. They said Marlon Brando once said, void is terrifying to most people. And I was thinking about that. Like, we talk endlessly on social media. Like, we are so excited about getting that dopamine hit, and me included, that these internet points that are so not validated become everything that we're about, rather than the actual work that needs to be done. Like, for example, history. One might think that if we listen to people on media outlets now that we never had a history. Like, the people of 2020 are obviously smarter than everybody in the history of time.
Oh, we are. Didn't you know that?
Right.
Just like fourth graders. We know it all.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If we step back and hopefully if we pay more attention to history, perhaps we won't repeat it. It's an interesting thing right now, as everything tends to come back to ego, depending on what side of the aisle you're on politically, depending on whether you believe that what's happening in our cities in America right now is righteous or not, which I find it disturbing that anybody would think it's righteous to burn somebody's business down or to hurt someone intentionally. I don't know. So number 6 was stop telling yourself a story. There is no grand narrative. When you achieve any sort of success, you might think that success in the future is just the natural and expected next part of the story. This is a straightforward path to failure. In other words, by getting too cocky and overconfident, you get yourself in trouble. And one of the things that's interesting, if you look at Jeff Bezos, he's did all right for himself, Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's doing all right. And he said he reminds himself as he was building Amazon that there is no aha moment for him. The billion-dollar behemoth company he had, no matter what he might read in his own press clippings, he always said, I need to stay focused on the present moment, not the story, which I found interesting from the richest man in the world. Learn to manage yourself and others. I'm guilty of this. I'm a squirrel chaser.
Oh, I'm a squirrel, so.
Yeah. John DeLorean, this example in the article, it says John DeLorean, DeLorean car, was a brilliant engineer, but a poor manager of people. And they described one of his executives described him and his management style as chasing colored balloons.
Ooh.
That's probably what I do
At least they were
sometimes.
colored.
And it's okay that I have that weakness. I love things. I love to jump. I love to focus. And if I look back at my career, perhaps not that I would judge it negatively because it got me to where I'm at, and I think it was exactly the right scenario. But I surround myself with people to try to keep me focused because I know that's a natural tendency of mine. And I think understanding that about ourselves is important. We're not going to get through all these, but I just thought, in today's world, maybe these will help some of us. Just remind ourselves to stay calm a little bit and maybe look in the mirror and realize that that's your true competition, not others. And
Oh, yeah, you said it there. You are your own competition.
Yeah.
Every day, you're the one who you compete with.
yeah, it's okay to be where you're at, right? Like you didn't do anything wrong. And then if it's not where you want to stay, then let's just look forward into time and see where you want to be, and then let's reverse engineer that. This number 9 said, forget credit and recognition. And I don't know if you like Bill Belichick or not, the Patriots football coach. People know that he's won more Super Bowls than anybody ever, and he's kind of a jerk when he does his interviews, and he's very intense. I shouldn't say that because I don't know him, but he seems like he is. But what people don't know about him is he was working his way up the ranks. He made his mark by making his superiors look good, really good. So he stayed very humble and focused on the practice of perfecting his craft rather than recognition. That came naturally when you win Super Bowls, right?
Sharing recognition is always a good thing, especially if other people have been part of it and helped and, let them have it.
It's true.
Let it go.
I mean, I'll
It
share.
doesn't-
Go ahead.
It doesn't lessen what you did to tell someone else they did a good job and thanks for helping, and let other people know that.
Right, celebrating the victories of other people. And I know that we have a lot of people in our firm that do that consistently. And I think that that's the sign of leadership and the sign of true abundant mindset. And that's one of the cultural aspects of Keller Williams is we really try to celebrate each other versus that scarcity mindset where, jealousy and envy tend to live. I'll share one more out of these 25. There's number 10 says, connect with nature. And in the world pandemic, connect with nature and the universe at large. It says, nothing draws us away from nature more than material success. Go out there and reconnect with the world. Realize, I love this, realize how small you really are in relation to everything else.
Oh, we're tiny.
Yeah.
In the universe, on the planet, everything.
Yeah, humility, right? Like when we start beating our drum and we start judging people from the bleacher seats. I played sports in high school and a little bit in college, and I remember people just screaming at the referees, right? But they've never put on the stripes.
Yeah, they're doing their best job. They saw what they saw from their angle, and
Yeah, so I mean, just maybe when you take a walk outside, I mean, you look up. It wasn't that long ago we were full of smoke. So when you look at the blue sky and you take a walk, remember that, again, I said it earlier today, the world's going to keep spinning on its axis with or without you. And long time from now, it's not going to matter maybe as much as you think it is today to hurt other people just because they may disagree with you. And, we got about a minute left in this segment, but I want everybody to know this. If you are, because it's political, right? Political time of the year, every 4 years. This is a very divisive one. If you're a progressive liberal, you are my friend. If you are a conservative Republican, you are my friend. If you think that I am not your friend because I disagree with your perspective, then perhaps you are not my friend either. But the thing about America is we can all get along and we can agree to disagree. And in the Republic, I can tell you that I am proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a patriot. My son's in the Marine Corps. And I am grateful to all of our police, all of our firemen, and all of our military around the country. From now until the future and all in the past that got us what we want. Thanks a lot for allowing me to dive into that stuff. And we'll be back with Sharon Crockett and PrimeLending in just a few minutes with Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan.
Home sweet home. Home sweet home. Oh, home sweet home.
Hi, this is Russ McClellan, designated broker at Keller Williams Realty. If you're thinking of selling your home, why hire us? We have a few simple goals. First, our job is to make you more money in less time by exposing your property to more people than anyone in the business. Second, we will simplify the process. Your Keller Williams expert advisor will identify simple solutions in a real estate world that can sometimes get a tad complex. Third, we will save you time. We will handle the entire process necessary to achieve your real estate goal so you don't have to. We work for you. Finally, we keep you out of trouble. Let's face it, we live in a litigious society and real estate is a big ticket item. Truly knowing how to do the right things in the right order is very important. Hey, call us today and let's talk about how we can achieve these goals for you. 509-888-0038 or simply stop by our office located directly across the street from McDonald's at 1111 North Mission Street.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ, McClellan, and Friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan. Having a great time. Man, I'll tell you what, we keep growing faster and faster, pushing 70 real estate brokers, almost always smarter as a collective than we are as an individual. And almost always we have something to learn. And speaking of learning, as always, we have PrimeLending in our fourth segment, and I have Sharon Crockett on the phone in the land of COVID. How you doing, Sharon?
Good morning. I'm doing well, Russ. Thank you so much.
Great. What is happening out there? I mean, it seems like depending on who you talk to, but maybe it's just because it's a year of an election, but depending on who you talk to, you get a different answer. How are we doing with interest rates? How are we doing, in your opinion, as our market goes in the land of COVID?
Well, that's such a loaded question these days, and this year in particular, 2020 is unlike a year anybody's ever seen as far as the pandemic, election, the protesting and the unrest socially that's going on. And so and then rates and the mortgage industry and housing and a lot of rumors out there, is there going to be a bubble? Is there not going to be a bubble? Are people confident and able to find a responsible mortgage? And the reality is that this year has been one of the best years on record as far as people being able to tap into the huge amount of equity that is in people's pockets in their house, in the housing that they have, being able to lower their interest rates, pull out cash, pay things off, buy more property. And so it's been an amazing year. I mean, we're all very blessed to be so busy in this environment where so many, people might not be flourishing as much. But yeah, it's been an amazing year. Rates are the lowest that they've been in over 50 years, and things are happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I think, speculation, but there's some like legit, real situations with low rates that maybe people should stop and think about. And one of those is if you can borrow money in the, what are we now, Sharon, in the low twos still? Upper twos, low twos?
Mid to high twos to low threes, really just depending on what you're doing, whether you're, purchasing, refinancing, pulling cash out. There's a myriad of different rates depending on your situation.
Yeah, I read an article the other day. When you have rates, let's say even, low threes, where you can go tap that equity that you spoke of based on the strength of the market, depending on how long you've owned a home or how long you've owned an investment. And you can leverage that and go buy a couple other second homes or investment properties with that low rate. It's an amazing amount of tax benefits and potential appreciation and equity that you can get by doing so, because these are 50-year low situations. And it probably, although we think it's going to last, I believe we think it's going to stay pretty low for a while, at least into the distant future. But we know at some point it's probably going to go back up. And if we could be the person that had the crystal ball, then I guess we wouldn't have to work. We'd just buy the right stock and predict the future. But what we do know is that right now, boy, what a great time to tap some of that equity and refi. And you're probably seeing that happen a lot, where you go out and buy something else and then get those depreciation tax benefits or interest deductions and really maximize your assets based on that low rate.
Absolutely. Yeah, people are paying cash for second homes in some cases with so much equity, or buying land. relocating, looking at buying vacation homes. We finance homes in all 50 states. And so right now we're financing homes in Montana, Arizona, Wyoming, Idaho, here, of course, in Washington State. We have a lot of people relocating from California and Oregon. And so the options are just outstanding for people to, expand. And a lot of people are working remotely now, so they're able to open up even more options, whereas before they might have felt like, well, not quite ready to buy that vacation home yet, but now they can work from that vacation home. So it's just been incredible to watch people's imaginations allow them to open up opportunities and be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, the first time in history that I've been selling for 30 plus years. First time in my history where people can now work where they play and still make the money. Not everybody, but there's a percentage of people that can now live anywhere they want to live as long as they can get on the internet. And they can make the money that they used to only make if they did live in a metropolis or in downtown Seattle or Bellevue on the other side of the mountains. And frankly, why wouldn't they want to come this side if they could? I mean, I'm sure there are some people that love downtown Seattle. I'm not sure maybe as many as it used to lately based on what's been happening over there. But all of a sudden your boss says you can live anywhere you want. I want you to be close enough where you can jump back to the main headquarters if you need to. So why not maybe just go 130, 140 miles east and get that 300 days of sunshine and then call Sharon because I can now do something that I never knew possible.
It's been pretty amazing. Yeah. And then a lot of people just buying their first homes. I mean, we're blessed with a demographic right now, the largest demographic ever between the ages of 26 and 32 that are buying their first home. And so even if rates did inch up into the, higher 3s and even 4s, the opportunities there for housing and the need for people to be in a home is huge right now. So there's really no forecast of anything slowing down, and it's just a really great time and an exciting time to get involved in buying a house and purchasing or refinancing or even selling and moving up to that next home. We're having a great time. It's busy and we love it.
And I think it's important, speaking of first-time home buyers, for people to realize that I've worked with you long enough, and Michael, that you're willing to listen to people if they don't have a clue what they're doing and help them, frankly, understand the process of buying a home. So there's really no, I just want you to affirm this. I know it's true, but there is no stupid question. That's you're there for people to be a resource, right?
Right. Yeah, it's a story. I mean, the name of our website is yourstorybeginshere.net, and it really is your story. And so each story is unique to each person's needs and goals, and we have, often the same conversation, but in different approaches with each client, because everybody comes at it differently from their backgrounds or their careers or their needs with their families and their family sizes, and whether it's a condo or a rambler or land or, whatever it may be. It's so exciting to talk to them and start the conversation and help them through that. Yeah. So absolutely never a stupid question. And even offering more than just the basic answer, we help guide them through that story and add to, their questions with, tips and tricks to pay their mortgage off early and, lots of fun things that we can offer our clients.
Yeah. And there's a lot of myths out there. And one of them, which, I often see, and I know you do too, is maybe somebody gave somebody some bad advice and said, oh, no, you got to have 20% down. Or, oh, no, you had a collection or a bankruptcy, so you'll never buy a home. Or you got to wait 10 years. And I can promise you, and I know you know this because you do it all the time, but there's a lot of things that people are told, even if they're by trusted advisors, family members, friends, a brother's cousin's uncle in Sacramento that worked at a bank, that aren't true. And if you want to buy a home, that's all you need to know to make the first phone call, right? I mean,
right.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it amazes me how many people still aren't aware of how easy it can be to move past a bankruptcy or a past foreclosure or a collection or even a lower credit score, and how many rumors are still out there. If I could go back, I would become a teacher, and really just push for these classes to teach people at the groundbreaking level of when they're first being educated about credit, about investing, about real estate. I firmly believe it should be a full class for a whole year. It would really educate our society on how to be more successful, and not just depending on your parents or hoping that you're going to come along a YouTube video that'll, talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it evolves too. I mean, that's the being learning based and being able to understand that not everybody has got the same story, like you said, and that there is probably something there. And what I also appreciate about your company is the creativity and the communication that goes with the creativity to perhaps guide someone if they're not qualified, that you're not going to lie to them. But you might say, this is a plan to get you to where you need to be. And it's not going to be told to them with some kind of a like you're belittling them, but simply you're going to be a counselor for them to say, okay, well, this happened. Maybe this was a tough time, but we're going to help you through that and show you what we need to do to get you in 6 months to buy a house. Yeah.
And not to minimize the large scale of buying a house, but it's, in some ways it's like a board game, the game of Monopoly, so to speak, where your end goal is to get to a certain property, and maybe you're just not there yet. And so we help people move around the board, taking the steps required to get them to that game piece on the board where they want to be, whatever goal that might be.
Right. Well, we're coming to the end of the segment, but I can tell you that from personal experience, we've worked together for several years. Both you and Michael are very passionate. You have conviction that is rare in the game of real estate finance. And so greatly appreciate all that you've done for our clients and our brokers. And I believe, like you, things are going to be, even though they seem a little negative right now, a little polarized right now, land of COVID's no fun. But good things are going to stay here, and in the long run, like we always say, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And with the right counselors, you can too own a home. So I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. And
you bet.
Anyway, like I always say, I appreciate having Sharon Crockett and Michael as co-hosts of this show and sponsors of this show. Hey, today maybe go outside, take a deep breath, walk around a little bit. Throw the phone in the drawer once in a while. Spend some time with your friends and family and live in gratitude. It takes a lot of stress off. I appreciate you tuning into our show each and every week. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic Saturday.
It's a bright new day, just came my way. I bought a new home, yeah, home sweet home, oh, home sweet home. Keller Williams, I love my dream home, home sweet home.